A tree, a silent witness to the passage of time, rooted deep in the earth, giving life to countless beings. But what does it take to kill a tree? Can simple acts blow end its existence? Or does nature fight back? In today's lesson, we explore one of the most thought-provoking poems in modern Indian literature, On Killing a Tree by Gieve Patel. Through striking imagery and powerful metaphors, this poem shows us that killing a tree is not just an act of cutting wood. It is an act of violence against life itself, and it's not as easy as it seems. Let's dive into the poet world, his message, and the meaning hidden between the lines. Because this is not just about a tree, it's about us and our relationship with nature. Let us first learn about the poet Gieve Patel. He was born on 18th August 1940 in Mumbai. By profession, he was an Indian poet, a playwright, painter, and a physician. Some literary movements in which he took part were Green Movement in the poetry, focusing on the environmental awareness and human-nature relationship. Themes which we can see in his work are nature, environment, degradation, social concern, human cruelty, and deep philosophical reflection. Some of his notable works are poems which were written in 1966, How Do You Withstand Body? This was written in 1976. Mirror and Mirroring were written in the year 1991. His writing often blends medical precision with poetic sensitivity, as he was a physician and a poet. His poem On Killing a Tree is not just about physical cutting down a tree. It's a symbolic representation of human exploitation of nature. The poem shows that destroying a tree is not easy because it has deep roots and life-giving energy. The act of killing tree becomes a metaphor for destruction of nature, violence, and insensitivity of humans. It emphasizes the resilience of nature. Even when cut, it tries to grow again. Now let us see the text of the poem. It takes much time to kill a tree. Not a simple jab of the knife will do it. It has grown slowly, consuming the earth, rising out of it, feeding upon its crust, absorbing years of sunlight, air, water, and out of its leprous hide, sprouting leaves. So hack and chop, but this alone won't do it. Not so much pain will do it. The bleeding barks will heal, and from close to the ground will rise curled green twigs. Miniature bough, which if unchecked will expand again to former size. No, the root is to be pulled out of the anchoring earth. It is to be robbed, tied, and pulled out, snapped out, or pulled out entirely, out from the earth cave, and the strength of the tree exposed. The source, white and wet, the most sensitive, hidden for years inside the earth. Then the matter of scorching, choking, in the sun and air, browning, hardening, twisting, withering, and then it is done. So this was the text of the poem On Killing a Tree by Gieve Patel. Now let us see explanation of the poem stanza by stanza. There are 4 stanzas. In the first stanza, poet tells that a tree cannot be killed by a single cut or attack. Tree takes years to grow, absorbing sunlight, air, and water, and feeding on the earth nutrients. So cutting the bark only injures it, only hurt it. It will only wound the tree, and it can heal and grow again. Coming to the next stanza. In next stanza, the poet tells that even after hacking and chopping, a tree resists death. It sends out new shoots from near the ground, and nature fights back against human destruction. So, if we are hacking, chopping, cutting, hurting the tree, it will not take a tree to death. The tree will resist it, and it will try to grow again. The new shoots will be seen. This shows that the nature fights back even if the human keep on doing some destructions. Still, the nature will regrow, will fight with it. In the next stanza, the poet tells that to kill a tree permanently, one must attack its root, as roots are the source of life. So, to kill a tree, we have to attack on the root. The root is the white and wet, symbolizing purity and life energy hidden underground. They have been hiding underground for years to years, and the root is the most sensitive and essential part of the tree. As the roots are the source of life, they are the source from where the tree gets the nutrients from the earth. Therefore, to hurt a tree, one must attack its root. Then, in the next stanza, the poet tells that once uprooted, once the tree is being pulled out from the earth, the tree is exposed to sun and wind. And if we expose a tree, especially the roots, to sun and wind, the roots will gradually wither, harden, twisted, and dies. It means that the roots will slowly dry up, harden itself, twist, and then final stage of the will be reaching. That means the tree will die. So the killing process is slow, cruel. Now let us see the themes of the poem. Here we can see human destruction of nature. It is symbolic of human greed and carelessness towards the environment. How carelessly human treats the nature. How irresponsible they are towards the nature. Another theme which we can see, the resilience of nature. That how a tree resists destruction and attempts to regrow. Even after lots of hacking, chopping, we can see that the nature resists it and regrows from it. Another theme which we can see is violence against life. Killing a tree is description as a violent, almost murderous act. Another theme which we can see is the environmental awareness. This poem is giving an environmental awareness to the reader. It shows to how we can protect and respect the nature. Now let us see the poetic devices. First we can see is metaphor. Killing a tree compared to murdering a living being is compared as killing a living being. Then we can see personification. Tree is given human qualities such as bleeding barks. Then we can also see alliteration. Bleeding bark, white and wet. Here the sound of b or b and v is being seen. Then we can see imagery. A vivid description of the roots, barks and leaves are very well given by the poet. Irony is also there. Despite human efforts, nature fights back. How nature resists the human harms, destructions. Then we can also see symbolism. Tree represents life, resilience, and the natural world. Apart from this, we can also see enjambment. When a sentence is continued in one or two line without any punctuation mark at the end of the line, then that is the enjambment. And here in the poem, on almost all the stanzas, some lines are there which are being continued to the next one, and it shows enjambment. As we can see in the first stanza, line 2 is being continued to next one and another one. Then a comma is there in the fourth line, but in the second and the third line there is no punctuation mark. Same goes with the next two lines, and in the next one stanza also fourth line is there, and then in the next stanza also fourth line is again continued, and in the last stanza also we can see that the first line is continued to the second one and the second is carried on to the third one. Here we can also see repetition. In the fourth stanza we can see, in the third stanza we can see the word out is being used many times. So the moral which we learn from the poem is that the nature is strong and self-healing. Humans must learn to live in harmony with the nature. The tone of the poem is serious, sensitive, and thought-provoking. It encourages the reader to think about the destruction that the humans are doing towards the nature and how the nature resisting it. It's a kind of a free verse poem with no rhyming scheme. Message which is being given in the poem is that the true destruction of nature is slow, painful, and irreversible. So the humans must learn to stop the destruction and try to live in a harmony with the nature. Hoping that the poem is clear to everyone. If you have any doubts, do write in the comment box. And remember to like, share, and subscribe the channel. Thank you.